So, is anyone else having a little bit of deja vu here? Tampa Bay's back in the final with another Cinderella team. I've been saying it for a while. The Habs have been reminding me of the Dallas Stars to a certain degree. Price, by the way, first name Carey, has a .921 save percentage in high danger areas. That's amazing good. Montreal's got 12 forwards that have points on game-winning goals. And they've got 5 different players who have scored in overtime. Not to mention, they've killed off 30 of the last power plays against them. Last team to score them in the playoffs was the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've also done a good job. I've got an itchy nose, excuse me. They've also done a good job of isolating their bottom pair, whether it's Romanov or Merrill or Gustafsson, sprinkling them in with their top 4 who are just punishers right now. What are they? They average almost 6'3", 200 in WWE pounds. However, of course, we do know Petrie and Weber look like they have hand injuries. They also have 5 overtime wins. It's crazy. On the sad side of things for the Habs, Armia is in COVID protocol right now. He could be done for the series. That would be kind of a big blow for them. He's been putting up a lot of goals on that fourth line. A big reason why it looks like they're getting scoring from everywhere. And another weird little stat here. 8 of Vegas's 13 goals against the Habs came from their defense. Montreal's just done a terrific job of shutting down the forward groups, who the top 6 only had 2 goals, by the way. That's nuts. Now for Tampa Bay and their defense, speaking of which, Cernak has been struggling lately. Maybe he's still injured. I wouldn't doubt it. Ruta doesn't look like he belongs in that top pairing there. And Hedman is operating at less than full strength right now. And then there's Kucherov. Looks like he may have cracked a rib or two. And how much is that going to limit his effectiveness, especially on their lethal power play? Now, Tampa Bay beat New York Islanders in 7 games, of course. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Vegas Golden Knights in 6. Tampa outscored New York 20-11. Montreal outscored Vegas 15-13. When it comes to goals per game average so far in these playoffs, Tampa ranks 2nd with a 3.22 per. Montreal 11th with a 2.53. And when it comes to goals against, these teams are pretty tight. Tampa's 2nd with a 2.05. Montreal's 3rd with a 2.18. Let's talk about special teams now, starting with the power play. Tampa's is lethal. They're 2nd right now with a 37.7 success rate. That actually slipped a bit during the Islander series because before that they were 1st with 41.7. Yikes. That's a good yikes, by the way. Montreal is 7th in the playoffs on the power play, respectable at a 20.9 success rate. They were 8th before they went up against Vegas with an 18.8. On the penalty kill, we all know Montreal's number 1 with a 93.5. Unbelievable. They were still 1st before they faced off against Vegas in this category, just over 90% success rate. Tampa Bay is 4th in these playoffs with an 83% success rate, not too shabby themselves. They were 8th before they faced off against the Islanders with just under a 78% success rate. Let's talk briefly about face-off win percentage. Montreal's 9th, Tampa Bay's 11th. The Habs are just over 49% at the dot. Tampa's just under 48%. When it comes to shots per game, Tampa Bay's 12th, Montreal's 13th. Tampa has got just under 30 per game. Montreal's just over 29. Weird little stat here for you. In the past series, and maybe even the one before that, the teams that won were the ones that had less shots per game than the other team. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyways, let's talk about point leaders right now. Those with 15 plus for each team. Montreal's got 0, but Toffoli's got 14, Suzuki 13, Caulfield and Perry each have 9. Remember, they played 1 less game than Tampa did. Speaking of which, the Lightning have 5 players with 15 plus points. Kucherov's got 27. He leads everyone in the playoffs, obviously. Points got 20. Killorn and Stamkos each have 17. Hedman's got 16. And Cirelli missed out in this category with the next best of 10. Let's talk about goal leaders now. Those with 7 plus goals so far in these playoffs. My cat's meowing a lot. He's trapped in the studio here with me. For Montreal, they've got 0 players with 7+ goals. However, they've got 4 with 5. And I'm talking about Kotkaniemi, Suzuki, Toffoli, and Armia, which is why he'll be heavily missed, right? Not to mention Caulfield, who's got 4. For Tampa Bay, they've got 3 players with 7+ goals. Point leads all the playoff markers with 14. Killorn's got 8. Stamkos has got 7. And then we have some players who missed out on this category by inches here. Kucherov and Gord have got 5 apiece, and Palat and Cirelli each have 4. Let's move on to goaltenders and save percentage. Vasilevsky's first in the playoffs with a .936. Price is second with a .934. Interesting little nugget here for you. These 2 goalies will become the first 2 former Vezina winning trophy winners to appear in the Stanley Cup since 1999, when Dominic Hasek and the Buffalo Sabres faced off against Ed Belfour and the Dallas Stars. Let's move on to my last statistical category here, where I separate the forwards and the defense, and I look at their offensive output. Starting with the defense, Tampa Bay, got an itchy nose, has got 36 points. 3 of those are goals for them. Montreal's got 19, and 2 of those are goals. My cat's tearing everything apart because he's mad he can't get out. Tampa's a +19 right now, and Montreal is a +1. I'm going to go let the cat out. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Let's talk about the forward group here. Tampa Bay's has got 126 points. 55 of those are goals. Montreal's got 92, 41 of those are markers. Tampa Bay's forward group is a +27. Montreal's is a -7. Yeah. Let's get into wild cards and which player I'm going to pick for each club here. For Tampa Bay, I'm going to go with Yanni Gourde, the third-line center. He's got 5 goals, 6 points so far in the playoffs, but 3 of those goals came in the last series against the Islanders. He's getting hot at the right time. 2 of those 3 were even strength, and 1 was shorthanded, something the Montreal club knows a lot about. Speaking of which, for the Habs, I'm going to go with some low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to pick Caulfield, who's got 4 goals, 9 points. But against the Vegas Golden Knights, he had 4 goals, all of which so far, and 5 points. He's getting hot at the right time. However, he looked dangerous these entire playoffs, but it's really starting to pay off for him now. X factors. Starting with the Lightning. They need to decode Montreal's penalty kill. Let's hope Kucherov isn't as hurt as we might think. They also need offense from their bottom 6. They need it from everywhere, really, including the defense, not just Hedman, too. And in order to do that, you must always be screening Carey Price. If he sees it, he's going to stop it. Not to mention, if there are any rebounds, you got to glue someone to the edge of his crease, because Montreal's defense has been really good at boxing out opposing forwards from that high danger zone. So that's going to be big for them. Speaking of the Habs, they need to continue to get offense from all 4 lines. Now, of course, that shutdown line / the top line hasn't been doing much besides shutting down every other club's major offense. But they did score that overtime goal, if you remember, in Game 7 against the Knights. They need to shut down that top line, obviously, and limit the second one. They need to tenderize Hedman and Kucherov. They're obviously playing injured. Maybe they can make them think twice and force them into mistakes, because those are 2 big playmakers there. They also have to neutralize the power play for Tampa. And lastly, never take your eyes off Braden Point. Now, moment of truth. Who do I think's going to win this series? Up until maybe a minute ago, I've been thinking about this. Montreal just looks really good right now. Armia's a bit of a loss, obviously. He's a 4th-line player still. Maybe Evans comes in and picks up where he left off, right? Price, he was made for this moment. And Tampa's defense is still really good. But there are some weak spots there. Last year, I bucked the trend and I picked Dallas for the first time in the finals. That obviously didn't pay off for me. And I didn't guess either of these teams would be here right now. But I was pretty sure there was a good chance Tampa might. Now, yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa in 7. That's it. For those of you who have skipped to the end of this video, who do I think is going to win this series? I'm going with Montreal. The Man Mountain. Bob Barker in net. What's more to say, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear from you down in the comment section who you think is going to win this series, why, and in how many games. Please, don't forget to be kind to each other as well in this crazy world we're living in right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, which will alert you when my next video comes out, and I'll see you soon.